Okay. Now the question is whether or not this is even working. Because I don't know if it is. It's not supposed to be called that. Oh, why is it called reacting to the ban list? No. Ah. Okay. Let's. I wonder if that'll do anything. Okay, that changed that. But is Twitch streaming? It is streaming, I think. Oh god. Let me turn this down as well. Okay. Alright. I am somewhat certain that I've got this up and running. Somewhat. Good golly, I hope so. It would be very helpful to me if somebody were to tell me whether or not it was working. Anybody want to help out? Anybody want to holla at your boy? All right, it looks like it's working. I think it's working. Moran like Alex Moran from Blue Mountain State? Or what's going on? What are we talking about? Okay. Remix Apples 7985. Okay, nice. It looks like it's working. I've got people in chat. I've got some viewers. Can I review your Boa Hancock deck profile, please? I don't play One Piece, but I'll review Boa Hancock any day of the week, my friend. Okay. So the plan for this stream is going... It's Leon. Remix Apples 7985 is Leon. What is... Why do all y'all have different names? I've always known Leon to be King Cold. This is your burner from middle school. Nice. Okay. And then, am I missing anything? How do I get onto the stream as like the Team Top Cut YouTube account? Is what I wonder. There's got to be a way to do this. Whatever. I just work here. Okay. Is it lagging? Everything looks good. Cool. So the plan for today's stream is that I am intending on doing Deck Doctor services. This is something we've used for like 15 years. Well, I mean, you had a... Oh, no, that was your Twitch name, wasn't it? That was your Twitch name. Yeah, I'm streaming on both YouTube and Twitch right now, so I don't know... I don't expect many viewers over on Twitch, because YouTube tends to get a little bit more than Twitch does. At least it's because we started. Train of thought. Right. So the plan right now is I'm going to have people submit deck lists to me for Yu-Gi-Oh, Leon, for Yu-Gi-Oh, and then I am going to look at them, I'll tune them up, I'll give my thoughts. I might even have you explain it to me quickly in the comment section, like what's going on, just to make sure that I'm getting like a good understanding of everything. It's possible that I look at something and I just completely miss it. I would like to avoid that if at all possible. So what I'll do is to make sure that everybody's getting a fair chance. What sort of Deck Doctor? Only main deck changes. So the plan is that I'm going to spend 15 minutes per deck that I pick. And what I'll do is I'll look at the deck list, I'll look at the side deck, and then we'll cover the siding patterns and whatnot. So like I'll look at everything and I'll say, okay, well this deck seems like it's underprepared for this particular matchup, or like, oh, the Radiant Typhoon matchup on this seems particularly weak because you don't have X cards available to you. So I'll do everything, right? As much as I can cover in a 15-minute window. That's sort of the game plan here, right? Is I just want to be able to give you guys some help, some resources, and sort of the insight of somebody that very frequently works with deck building and whatnot. One of our more popular coaching session services that we have is like in-depth deck building together and running siding patterns. So I wanted to give everybody sort of like a quick insight into that. Obviously, I'm not trying to pull traffic from our coaching service, but hopefully this is a good advertisement at least for like how good we are at our services, at our job. All right, so what I was going to do is I want to give everybody an equal opportunity to get their deck looked at here. So over the next 4 minutes, I'll have people submit some of their deck lists. What they can do is they can go into our Discord server. Link is going to be in our YouTube channel description. It'll be in our Twitch channel. And just go ahead and shoot a link or an image in the... just throw it in the content and media channel in general chat. And I'll basically just go through and I'll just pick ones that I think look interesting, or that might have something to talk about. Like it's possible that you submit a deck list and it just looks completely normal in every way and facet, so there's not really much to discuss. So just go ahead and submit them on there. I'll take a look at everything, and then we'll just go through, and if you don't get picked, don't worry about it. I plan on getting more regular at streaming, and if this goes over well or this becomes like a popular thing, then we'll just do it a little bit more often. I should also probably do some promo. I have not done promo for a while on, hey, go watch our stream. It's been months since I last streamed. Oh God, I think the last person to stream with us was Trey. Actually, you know what? Our last stream was when we did the YouTube live stream of the Italian brain rot. God, that was the TCG packs, the Italian brain rot TCG packs. I think we still have that on our channel. Oh, you know what? Is the Discord server's link? It's not. Oh goodness. Well, let me grab that and fix that for you. Don't mind if I do. Goodness gracious. I can't believe I didn't have that ready. Invite to server, edit invite link. No limit. Never expire. Generate new link. Okay. It is there in the comments. I'll also throw it. Cannot believe I did not have that in the description. Got our sponsors website, and I've got our Metafy services. Join our Discord server. Publish. Okay, should be available now. Oh, add links. Discord server. Okay. Wonder why I took that out. I swear that was in there before. All right, I think we're good. Knock on wood. What was I doing? Oh, that's right. I was taking a picture to post on my social media so that we can pretend like we're really official. Yeah, the last stream was the Italian brain rot stuff. The time before that, I think Trey was playtesting. God, was it Mitsu Ryziel? It was Mitsu something, I think. I'm pretty sure. He was doing something or other, and just hasn't been anything since then. How do I attach links on like an Instagram post? That's gotta be where you link. Okay, there we go. Okay. Can I do more than one link, I wonder? I cannot do more than one link. Okay. Alright. Oh god. Getting back into streaming, it's just so many steps. Content creation's hard. I just straight up, this is actually difficult. I mean, it's not like it's this insane project, right? It is this massive undertaking every single time. Post it in the content and media channel in the Discord. Yeah, it's not like it's this massive undertaking every single time. I think the issue with it is that it is a project in and of itself for content creation. That's why the YouTube videos are taking so long. You know, when Brian and I were both doing it, it was a little bit easier because we'd sort of be taking turns making content happen. But now it's just such a project. I mean, I've still got a misplay. I've got a whiteboard over here with a to-do list on it. It's got the misplay video. I've still got to do my interview, get that edited and whatnot, and post it. And the editing software is just misbehaving, so it's... Plus, I still have to make a Sky Striker. I'm gonna make a Sky Striker player prep series. I want to do one for Mitsu as well. And then I definitely want to make a video of just like general tournament prep information, because that's pretty important too. So, okay, well, let's go ahead and get started here. Content requests, content media, there we go. What are we looking at? Dracotail, we've got... If Leon somehow found a way to make a one-piece deck list in Dueling Book, I'm gonna lose my mind. Pure branded. God, why does DB take so long to open? Wow. Wow. So the player explain what matchup feels toughest. And yeah, go for it. Whatever details you want to give me. So what I'll do is I'll pick the deck, and then when your deck gets selected, if your deck gets selected, go ahead and give me a spiel in the comment section or the chat, just to explain things to me a little bit. Yeah, Leon, your deck list is taking forever to open. I can't even see what it is. There we go. Oh my god, you're a troll. I hate... Alright, Leon, no. Out of here. Shame on you. We're not doing that one. Sorry, fellas. That was troll. All right, you know what? Let's start. Yeah, let's start with this Brandon Dracotail list. How do I? I'll rebuild it here. Dracotail branded. It looks the same. You're not playing the mag. 9, 2, 1. Yep. You're playing 3 Ecclesia. What's up, Colt? Good to see you. You are not mating that, so let's just clear all of this out. Except for not playing that. And then you had the Perulias on the side. What else did you have? 2 F and V. Why did I have 1 F and V in this list? That's I must have made this list a long time ago. Fallen and... No, it's the ampersand sign. Also strange. There is no effect failure. What's different? Got 1 Cartesia, Ash, Fua, Rahu. Oh. Horn needs to be the main deck. What else am I missing? Oh, droplets? Do I just have more cards than you in this list? Oh, you're not playing the bell. So what's the difference between our lists here? Oh, Droll. I see. Okay. Droplets and Droll. Cool. Alright, so there's the main deck. Extra deck, I think looked pretty similar. Oh, you're on 2 Arthalion. And what's that missing spot? It's Lubellion? It's Lubellion. And is there anything else? We've got a Synchro. We've got... Oh, you're on Exciton Knight. Okay. Dogma, Josh, Source, Titaniclad. Are you not on Titaniclad? Not at all. Okay. And then instead that is Exciton. You don't have Mysterion either? I guess that makes some sense. Mirror Jade. You're on Mirror Jade. I already had that. So what's the difference between our list? Alba Lenatus? That's what it is. Alba Lenatus. Yeah, I guess Mysterion makes some sense to cut in the sense that Malice is less popular. I think the big issue for me, though, personally, is that Mysterion's kind of a house. Like, that guy into Vanquish Soul, I mean, you're sniping Holy Sues, you're sniping Caesar Valiuses. I guess you'd want Secretarian for the Caesar, though. Okay, and then you've got 3 Nibs in the side. Pancratops. Alright, so here's what I'm going to have you do. I'm going to have you explain to me certain things before I go... Before I kind of take this apart or do anything to it. So like, for example, I am going to want you to explain to me the copies of Pancratops and the copies of Retaliating Sea in your side deck. Alright, so walk me through this list, right? There's a couple things that I noticed. First thing that I noticed was you are playing in your side deck 3 Pancratops, interesting pick. Ret Sea, which is a very interesting pick for this matchup. Like, very, very interesting pick for this matchup. Oh, goodness. And then most of these make sense. Exciton Knight in the side, sorry, in the extra deck I also don't love. It makes sense there. I think the main deck I'm cool with, right? Like, everything about the main deck seems pretty okay. I think the number one complaint that I would have is the Droll and Lockbirds, but I don't hate it, and I could be convinced to like it. So yeah, just give me a quick rundown on some of the decisions that you made here. I would love to know if you could walk me through Exciton Knight, the Panks in the side deck, the Ret Seas in the side deck, and Droll in the main deck. If you could walk me through those particular aspects before we get started, I'll be happy to run from there. And then let me get a timer pulled up. Okay. Different deck, please review. Thank you. If it's another, if it's like an Edison deck or something, I'm just gonna lose my mind. Let me get. It is an Edison deck. I called it. You. Oh my God. So this is the Wizard. Wizard, if you could please explain to me your deck list. Otherwise, I'll just get started, and I will leave you without the opportunity to explain to me anything. Which means that you might miss out on the opportunity to defend some of your decisions. I don't know if we're all Edison enjoyers. I enjoy Edison, personally. Tweaking my deck for the Blackwing matchup. If you want to tweak your deck for the Blackwing matchup, play 3 copies of Trap Hole in the side deck. Like regular Trap Hole. You're going to catch a lot of people off guard with that, and it's actually very good into Blackwings. Okay. Alright. Built from watching many top lists and experimenting with ratios. Exciton is board breaking tech I picked up from YCS Richmond from Luca Sacco. Okay. So basically, I net decked. That's your answer to all of this stuff. That's fine, right? Net decking's fine. I think that it's a really good start, and especially if you're not a particularly invested player, or if you aren't super familiar with the deck, you haven't been playing a deck for a while, you just don't feel comfortable branching out, I can understand, sticking with net decking. And obviously it's really good for a basis. You gotta start somewhere, right? And if you're not the inventor of a deck, pick up something solid to look at. Pancratops is something I wanted for floodgates like Deep Fissure and forcing an opponent to use resources early going second. Okay, I can get behind this. I really like that as a consideration. Just because Di-Fi wrecks this deck really hard. Okay, so some of these techs are just sort of net decking or listening to like a pro player, and some of these techs are like, if you had me looking at Pancratops before, I would have been like, you're crazy, don't play this card. But you actually just brought up a really good point. It does deal with Di-Fi. It is a monster that deals with Di-Fi. That's another thing. And then also, this is a little bit better than Fenrir is, right? Because Fenrir requires you to have no monsters on board, and Pancratops doesn't. It just requires you to have less monsters on board than your opponent. Now, if you played on their turn at all, like let's say that, they activate Di-Fi, you chain Fimena, right? You'll still get stuff engraved. You'll get a chance to set some cards, and it also means that you summon the Arthalion, you bounce some cards back, you set up some follow up, and now you can summon the Pancratops on your turn and out the Di-Fi without any issues. No, I like that. Droll just affects a lot of decks, and many can play around Charmies. Also cover Rogue in a large room. Yeah, so I don't. It's less about like why Droll is there. I understand that Droll is there because it's just a really good card, right? It deals with rogue matchups. It's just main deck is where the problem comes up. All right, so let's get into this. 15-minute timer starts now. All right, so the first thing that I would say is looking at this list, I think Droll in the main deck is fine, but could be moved somewhere else. I think the issue is that a lot of decks right now play through, around, or under Droll in a way that kind of makes it inconsequential for you. And if you go first, you don't really need a Droll to back up your board. You're in a pretty good spot. If you're going second, you'd kind of prefer a Charmy Resolve in that spot. It also doesn't start your engine, doesn't do anything for you, right? So, I think it could even be argued that would be better off as Charmies, because again, right, a Charmy in hand is at its worst 5-mana pitch. And almost every single matchup in the game right now, you'd prefer this. Right? Radiant Typhoon does so much searching in the draw phase anyway that Droll Knockbird's going to get you not too much real value. The other thing is that, if you're going second, decks are going to be able to set up so much through Droll that it kind of becomes a problem for you. You would prefer Charmies in this deck in particular. If you're playing a different deck, I could get behind it. But I think in your deck, you want draws because 5-mana is just such a good card, and the more chance that you have to see Fallen the Virtuous or Forbidden Droplet, the better. I do think Fallen the Virtuous is fine in this particular deck just because, more opportunities to see it between Fallen of White in hand and Branded Fusion. So there's more ways to get access to it. You only really need 2. Particularly if you're going first, you only really need 2. One for your opponent's turn and then one for the next turn. So I think this is fine. I think this is also the best card in the game right now. This card is dirty. This card's dirty. So if you want to play this at 3 just because it's so good, I can get behind that. I think seeing it in your opening hand is pretty nice. So another thing that I really like about Fallen the Virtuous and Droplets, I love these cards because of cards like Dracotail Flame. Negates a spell card. I'll activate Branded Fusion. I'll activate Ketu. I'll activate Rahu. Sure, I'll chain Flame target. That sucks. Unless you chain Droplets or Fallen in the Virtuous. So Droplets would send your target, or Fallen in the Virtuous would target the spell that they're targeting, and then you can get rid of it so it doesn't get stopped by that. Same thing with, I guess, Radiant Typhoon, Mandate, right? So they'll probably go, MST, target, whatever, chain Mandate to negate. If you chain the Droplets or the Fallen the Virtuous there targeting your spell, again, their negate did nothing. They lose value. You get to keep all of yours. So I do really like this. I think it could even be argued that you play this at 3 over like another copy of the Ecclesia, but I also understand that this is a monster-heavy deck, and you want to see monsters more than you want to see spells and traps. The extra deck's fine. I don't love Exciton Knight. I think The issue is that almost all of your starters do some sort of fusion locking, like Fallen in White, Branded Fusion, Rahu, right? These are cards that all do some sort of restriction. I don't know how many scenarios are going to come up where you're actually successfully summoning Exciton Knight and, you know, getting the opportunity to make it and clear out a board, right? Like if you'd have to be like special summoning Ecclesia, use its effect to summon Fallen, to summon back Ecclesia, and then go into Exciton Knight. Which again is fine, right? But if they're making a whole board, odds are you're either not going to get that off stably enough because they're almost immediately going to be doing something to one of those two bodies because this guy is pretty good. Or if they let you make an Exciton Knight, that feels awesome, but you're not killing them that turn. And in this format, I just don't know if not killing them in a turn is a good idea. Like, follow-up is so abundant, and cards that can get them value and generate value, things that kill on a crackback are just so abundant that I just think that an Exciton Knight basically stopping you from lethal or putting them in an uncomfortable position is going to do more harm than good. That's my position. I see this coming up in basically one scenario all time, maybe two, right? Like maybe you summon a Cartesia and an Ecclesia, or you normal summon Lucius and Cartesia, and you just like get the special Cartesia, and then you make an Exciton Knight. But again, like, how many times would you rather just Cartesia fuse into a fusion monster? Probably more often. Like, you know, maybe I'm just wrong and Exciton Knight comes up a lot, but I don't see this getting you enough value to justify its spot. SP is another one that's like, it's not going to come up enough, but at least it'll come up more than Exciton Knight will. And it gives your board some resiliency in the event that you have to play through certain. Like, I view SP Little Knight as like a turn 3 type thing, where, you know, you've already gone through the cards that lock you, and now you're just looking for ways to remove uncomfortable cards. You know, I think SP does that, and so I look at SP as more of a grind game card, not like an end board piece or like a, you know, going second piece. I also think that if you're in such a bad spot, going second game 1, where you need to be making an Exciton Knight in order to not lose, you're probably losing that game anyway. Like, it's pretty rough. That's pretty rough. So I think in that spot, there's a lot of options, right? You got your F&B targets here, here, and here. You definitely need one of the. You could put a Mysterion. I think Mysterion's pretty good, right? So Mysterion's effect. If a monster uses its activate effect, special summon itself or a monster with the same original type. So that could be, you know, dragon summoning another dragon, right? You target one of those special summon monsters, banish that monster, also banish all monsters in the field with the same original type. So this card is dirty into Malice, right? Just dirty. So they go March Hare effect, you chain 5 mana, you summon Mysterion. When that March Hare hits board, if they aren't triggering another Malice name to come back, you can just clear out every Malice name or every Cyberse on their field. Every Cyberse, because it's the same type. Or if they do trigger a Malice name, just wait until that Malice name hits board. Clear their whole board. So I think Mysterion sort of makes the Malice matchup for this deck a lot freer in a way that it's currently not, because Lancia's run out of popularity. I think that this deserves a spot there. What other matchups? This would be really good into Vanquish Soul, right? So activate Holy Sue effect in hand to special summon itself, chain 5 mana to summon Mysterion. Now you get to banish the Sue on field, right? That sucks because Sue's a one of. I don't have a way to get it back. Also, Canine cards, right? So Lupus, like if they use Lupus effect to summon itself, great. Mysterion gets an opportunity to banish it. If it's not your turn, then even better because they can't chain Lupus. Azuna is another one. They summon Azuna, right? You can chain 5 mana or Cartesia or something to make Mysterion. Where is it? I had it pulled up here, not in there. Mysterion. And you actually get to take away a lot of their cards, or things that would be problematic for you. So I think the Mysterion's really good into a lot of these matchups. You know, there's things like Holy Sue being a one of that it can really kill that matchup's grind game. It answers Azuna, it answers Jokul, it answers Lantern. Like you actually get a lot of value out of a Mysterion into those matchups. It makes the Malice matchup trivial to free. And like Dragon Link, right? So, you know, the Rocket matchup, even the Mirror match, right? You summon a Mysterion if they already have, like, you know, let's say they summon, they summon like Arthalion or Sanctifier. Like, let's say they have a Sanctifier on field and they go to summon Arthalion, you know, from grave or something. Like, you can Mysterion banish a lot of their cards. I don't see it coming up like super often to the mirror match, but I do see it coming up into the mirror match. I do think that is actually like a viable. There are times where that'll be a viable use there. Is there anything else that I'm missing matchup wise where this could be potentially good? I think that there's a good case for a Mysterion. I think another option could be oh god, what did I have in it before? I had Mysterion, I had something else or other. Train of thought. Why am I blanking? I don't want to waste time on it. I'm sure there's another option in there that's pretty good. Something that I had cut previously for, I think it was the Abolenatus. Whatever I cut for the Abolenatus. Actually, I should be able to go back and check. Because we are watching a live stream. It was the third Arthalion. Yeah, you don't need the third Arthalion. Oh, Titaniclad. That's what it is, Titaniclad. So, the reason why we talk about Titaniclad, I actually think that this is another really good discussion point, is Lunalight. What is your Lunalight out? If somebody slams a Liger Dancer against you, is your answer to just scoop? How do you deal with that? The answer is that you don't. Or it is to summon a Sanctifier, somehow live, give them a body in attack position, and then like swing into it for a bunch of damage. But like, I just don't know how you'd pull that off. You'd have to like loop Sanctifier a couple of times, give them a body on their turn that they don't get rid of, and then it's just like you don't have an answer to Lunalight. So actually, you know, as much as I like Mysterion, as much as I think Mysterion's a good pick, I think the answer is Titaniclad because you just don't have a Lunalight matchup. And I think every single deck needs at least some answers somewhere to Lunalight, because otherwise you're just saying, God, I hope I win the die roll and don't get hand trapped to death, or I hope they don't open heavy poly. Like, at least Titaniclad has the opportunity to let you swing over the Liger Dancer, and they don't really have an out to Titaniclad either. They'd have to like FNV it. They'd have to like open FNV. They need to play. Yeah, they'd have to nib you, which I just don't see Lunalight playing nib because of Impulse. They'll tend to use Impulse instead. Yeah, I straight out, I just think that you play Titaniclad here. Right. And then in order to make the Titaniclad more consistently summonable, we could play, instead of the second Urgula, we could play one copy of Nibiru. I guess you could also make Titaniclad with like Lubellion or something. What's Titaniclad? Let's see, it's well, for fusion times 100. So in order to get Titaniclad bigger, you'd need what? It's 1,400 attacks. You'd need 14 stars total. So that's 8 and 4. That's 12. No, yeah, you'd have to play one copy of Nib in the main, which I actually agree with. You would need one copy of Nib in the main. I don't hate this either. I think one Nib in the main actually makes some sense. And we could cut down on... We could play 41. I think this is worth trying. I really do think that you need Nibiru somewhere. Also, the fact that you can just pitch this card if it's not good. I just why would you do the Star Destroying Kaiju when you have so many ways to get to a Titaniclad in engine? Like, there's just more ways to get there in engine than there is to like search a Kaiju. So I think this, or if you want, you can just leave Nib in the side deck, play a list like this, and then games 2 and 3 would be where the Titanic Lad comes up, but I do think that you need an answer to Lunalight. Not even just Lunalight, like other Towers decks in general. You can make this guy pretty big, right? Yeah. Plus this is also engine for you in a sense, right? Like you could send this off of Fallen and the Virtuous, or you know, Mirror Jade, and this actually gives you an opportunity for some pretty decent follow-up as well. So it's basically just another copy of Albion. Okay. Anything else? I do really like Pank. Now that you've said it for the not the Red Sea, I guess Red Sea as well, right? So for Red Sea, for Di-Fi, I think Pank actually puts in a lot of work there. Like, it's pretty good into that. It's not very good into Yummy. The Nibs are really good into Yummy, so if you're worried about Yummy, we could throw Nib into the main deck. I think that's totally viable as well. This list actually is a little bit more better built for Yummy because you're main decking the Perulias now. Instead, what we could do is we could reduce Droplets to 2 in the main, throw a Nib in there, maybe side the extra copy of Droplets. The thing is, like, Droplets is kind of a flex spot right now. This card's good, not great. It's better into some matches than others, and you know, this could be like your 2 Nibs and, sorry, 1 Nib, 2 Droll or something, right? And the Droplets would just be in the side deck. That way you have more monsters in your main deck, which is good. And then also, it's still in the side deck for if you end up needing it, because you're really going to need this card going second more than you are going first, whereas like Droll and Nib could come up in either situation. I love Dragon's Mind. I think you need 5 cards that can come in going first into any matchup whatsoever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 4, 5. I think you need to be cutting Ret Sea entirely. Maybe this could be other cards that could go first well. I think there is a format where there can be only one ends up being in the side deck. I would say Ret Sea is not needed, right? It's really bad in your own deck, and also it doesn't even really do that much to you, because like if you get Ret Sea on Branded Fusion, you just make Star Source and pop it. So, yeah, I would definitely cut the Ret Sea. You could put literally any cards you want here. I would say probably pick things that are guaranteed to get you value. You need 5 cards to come in going first into any particular matchup. So what if we did like Mistaken Arrest? Does this way going first? What if we cut Dragon's Mind down to 1? We did Mistaken Arrest. Going first into Canine Vanquish Soul, Yummy matchups, Radiant Typhoon matchups, White Forest, any like rogue decks. We side in the Mistaken Arrest because you don't really care about searching much, and you draw cards off your traps. So this card doesn't actually even counter your traps in any particular way. So you can go like end phase Mistaken Arrest, or like, you know, Mistaken Arrest them. I just think this card's nuts, and it doesn't stop your deck at all, and it shuts down a lot of the decks that you'd be playing against. Call by could be good in the main. So like what we could do is something like this, and then a copy of Called By could be 41, or maybe we just play 2 copies of Nib and Called By in the main, and then something like this. I think this is also fine. I really like the Nib with this deck because if you're playing against like Canine Vanquish or other Canine decks, and you open Nib and 5 mana, they lose the game, right? Because they have to stop one or the other. They're either going to lose the Ripper off of Arthalion Bounce, or they lose the Ripper off of... So basically, if they don't stop 5 mana, Arthalion's going to bounce the Ripper, and then you can nib them successfully. So they have to stop the 5 mana. But if they stop the 5 mana, you get to nib them. So I would say try something like this. If you aren't in love with Called By, you could definitely swap it out for like Droplets. Like the Perulias could come back into the side deck, and you could play the 3 Droplets in the main. I think that this is worth giving a look. Okay, we are 2 minutes over. That was expected. All right, Deck Doctor. I don't know how much better this is than your previous list, but I think that you might actually like this a little bit more. Push comes to shove, you just cut what you end up not liking. So yeah, we got a little. We've got Branded. Pure Branded's kind of it's going to be a whole thing to dive into. Anybody else that wants to get their deck looked at, feel free to drop. And whenever you better Better have Droplet going to win another regional. This time Magnet Warrior. Good to see you. Oh, good to see you again, Maddie. It's been a minute. Congrats on your regional win, by the way. Okay. Let's go with Lunalight. I think that's an important one for everybody to look at. Even if we don't end up changing much, I think using it as a educational tool to talk about the deck could be good. Lunalight. All right, so we are on 1 wolf, 1 tiger, 2 silverhound, 2 Kaleido, 2 masquerade. Okay, 2 liger, 2 Leo. Is that correct? What is that one? That is this one. Panther Dancer. Okay. Need 1 fusion. Black Sheep is at 2. Goldland is at 3. You're on the 1 Emerald Bird. That's right, you are on Emerald Bird. Okay. That's all the Lunalight cards. Poly. So it's Ultra. I need Heavy. Well, first I need an actual Poly. 1 copy of that. Alright, screw it. 3, yep. Droplets. Tenki's a 2 of, really. I guess it depends on how much you struggle for starters. Foolish Burial Goods and Foolish Burial. Impulse. Ooh, Fractal. And oh, you know what? I missed Martin. I think I missed Martin. I did miss Martin. Okay. Nice clean 40, and then extra was that, and then obviously Baguska. Fire Fist. Tiger King. SP. Cross Sheep. What else we got? Guardian Chimera. That's neat. I quite like that, actually. Really Redoer, huh? I guess that makes sense because it detaches for effects, not for cost. That's cool. That's cool. Okay. Too much greater and worse right now because of radiant variance. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you can fix that. Yeah, like the extra Ecclesia. Okay, so Tenki and Masquerade are worse right now because of radiant type variance. So it's 2 and 2, and then 3 fract is better because it's better in the draw. But Tenki, I don't feel fract. Oh, makes sense. Okay. Side deck. Good list pulled up. There it is. Lightning Storm. Harpies. Feather Duster. Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom in the side deck. I guess that makes some sense. That makes sense in this deck in particular. This deck's pretty tight on space. It's very engine heavy. Book of Eclipse. Okay. Strike. Ooh. And what am I missing? What am I missing? Judgment. Okay. All right. This is the list that we're working with. This is the list that we are looking at. So a couple things to discuss. Like you said, certain cards are worse right now. Yeah, Matty Brad, if you want to drop the see a future winning Magnet, I like that. If you want to drop the list in the Discord, we're doing like deck doctor services right now, though. I don't know how much deck doctoring you're gonna need. So a couple things to discuss here. I would like give me your reasoning behind Book of Eclipse, Ash in the side deck. Actually, that's it. That's the only thing that I really need explained. Strike. Strike and Judgment and Ash are pretty clean 6 to side in going first. Take out Heavy Poly and Fua. Okay. That makes some sense. Yeah, so I'm just thinking here. You'd need what? Let's use Radiant Typhoon as an example. You'd need to take out 3 Fua and 3 Heavy Poly, right? So that would need to come out into basically every matchup. Mitsu. Even in the mirror match, you'd want to take that out now. I just don't think any of these matter. Right, hybrid decks. Oh, this didn't update. Used to have a lot more decks on it. Oh, here they are. Okay, I see. I gotta update some of these too. 6 cards have to come in. They do. I think the answer is definitely Judgment, right? Judgment's just kind of the perfect go first card in general. I mean, card's dirty. My only issue with Judgment is it puts you in a life point deficit, which is one of the only ways that you can still lose the game, right? Like, God, how do you lose the game with a life point deficit? Heavy Poly, killing yourself, summoning a little guy into attack position, them giving you a body. Bounce back and forth, Eclipse is better into Cool Tune. Okay, so you're thinking ahead with this as well. That makes some sense. All right, let me start the timer. All right, I think as of right now, you need to be on F&B somewhere. I just think that card is the best card in the game right now. Resolving a Heavy Poly is just an auto win into so many matchups, like so many matchups that like the only matchup that resolving Heavy Poly into basically isn't a free win is the mirror match and the Vanquishal matchup. So you need to be resolving Heavy Poly as much as you possibly can. I think that the ways to do that are Droplets to send it, Thrust to search it, FNV to target and pop it. I also think that FNV is one of the best cards in the game. Straight up. And this deck can play it without really any consequence or loss of impact, especially because Impulse cooperates well with the cards in Graveyard, which is nice. You also want a way to deal with the Magnet Warrior fusion monster that makes all your monsters Earth, because if you activate Impulse on your opponent's turn, like if they go first and you activate Impulse, they make the guy that makes all your monsters Earth. Now you can't activate any of your monster effects on field. No Gold Leo, no Liger Dancer, none of that stuff. So that's pretty bad. God, what else? FNV trades with the Canine Quick Play, playing against the Canine matchup. You get the Vanquishal Field Spell, which that's another thing. The Vanquishal Field Spell is one of the reasons why that matchup has such a good matchup into you, because the Field Spell protects from Liger Dancer. Yeah, Book of Eclipse for the Magnet Warrior Fusion as well. That's true. Like the Vanquishal Field Spell is what makes that deck basically a guaranteed loss, because nice Liger Dancer, anyway, you have to pop my cards twice. So you have to summon 2 Liger Dancers to make any sort of board that can stop that, except Baguska, right? But against that matchup, you're never summoning 2 Liger Dancers, because that'd be stupid. You're summoning Liger Dancer Baguska. But if I out that Baguska, you lose the matchup, basically. Because you definitely can't activate Heavy Poly into it. You have to keep this card sided out going second into that matchup. So, I mean, there's just so many issues into that matchup that FNV by itself can actually solve. So a couple things that we could try is, potentially playing, instead of 3 heavy poly, maybe like 2 thrust and a heavy poly, change the side deck up a little bit. FNV is just so good. The issue is there's just not a ton of room for it. Fu is just nice because then you can draw heavy poly. This is the issue with like these heavy engine decks, right? It's that it's hard to make cuts where they are needed. And I would say droplets over FNV, personally. Well, maybe not. Maybe that's the option. No, because a Nat Beast, right? Against the Magnet Warrior matchup, they make a Nat Beast. Droplets is going to put in a lot of work. Droplets also helps trigger some of the other cards, right? I think they have to get sent to graveyard by card effect? Card effect. Yeah, so maybe not. I mean, Droplets does not necessarily have a ton of synergy. It is nice and all that you have good graveyard effects or things that can work out. Like maybe you Droplets send the Silverhound, so that if you get a fusion engrave later, it's live. But like, I feel like you just have so many ways to get cards into graveyard already that Droplets actually making you go neg on cards in hand is a bad thing, right? Like, it's an engine deck. You need as many cards as you could possibly get. And like, what are you dropletsing that an FNV also wouldn't solve? Like, for example, if I'm dropletsing a monster, I'm gonna have to send multiple cards from my hand or field to clear multiple monsters. Otherwise, I'm just sending one of the cards on my field for 1 negate. Also kind of rough. Like, I guess the synergy lies in like Perfume. But again, you could just use both effects of Perfume. God, what else would droplets be good for? Stops our Thalion, but like, you just don't care about that matchup. FNV eats the Titaniclad anyway. Maybe that's the move, right? Maybe it's cut the droplets for the FNV cards. Super Poly would be really good there too. That's what's making this really tough. I also don't love Lightning Storm. What else would be good? We could do Evenly in that spot, because the issue with like the spell cards like Lightning Storm and Feather Duster is that Flame negates them. Mandate, it's easier to deal with. Like, they get a whole bunch of triggers, or they can. It's mostly just Flame, right? Flame and Nat Beast. Evenly, they just give you a body with Sanctifier. God, this is hard. This deck is so basic that it actually becomes difficult to make changes to, right? Because anything that you change is either you're making the deck less consistent engine-wise, so like, cutting fractal copies, which is just a horrible idea, or we have to cut other cards like Heavy Poly, horrible idea. Tanky and Masquerade, not like the worst idea ever, but not like a great idea. Droplets also has synergy with Serenade Dance. I guess we could side the Serenade Dance. Chat, what do you think? Imperm over Droplet, not sure. Yeah, I mean, well, so that's the thing, right? Droplets to dodge a negate on a heavy poly would be really nice. FNB to dodge a negate on a heavy poly would be really nice. Imperm would be nice because you can Imperm and then Impulse actually gets you more value later. That's also true, right? Because you Imperm target, and then when you Impulse them, what ends up happening is they also get destroyed. That's not a horrible idea. Imperm over droplets. I think the issue is that there is some synergy with droplets. Like, some of these cards do things in the graveyard. Let me... Alright, Silverhound. One Lunalite fusion monster. Okay, yeah, so that wouldn't work with I see where your issue is. Extra deck's tighter than you'd think, right? I guess you could cut like the Redoer and probably the Guardian Chimera and maybe one of the fusions and just play the 3 F and V targets. That's an option. But it does make you have to... God, F and V is just so good in this deck, and it deals with your problem matchups in ways that I really, really, really like. It's just you have to make changes for it that I don't like. Maybe the answer is main deck F and V side droplets. Is that it? But that just also feels kind of rough. Like instead of Book of Eclipse. I'm not in love with Book of Eclipse for a couple of reasons. One is Kaleido Chick. Let's think about like what Lunalite does to win, right? Lunalite wins games by summoning Liger Dancer. Summoning Liger Dancer, that's how it wins games, right? How do we summon Liger Dancer? We use Kaleido Chick. Kaleido Chick sacking off. We haven't fully gone over Book of Eclipse. He covered it in his comments that Book of Eclipse is good going second into established boards. It can also help us force through targeted negations. You're playing Nibiru over Eclipse, but I bounce back and forth, and Eclipse is better into Cool Tune. Yeah, I mean, it's a matter of like breaking established boards or preventing setup. Like, Book of Eclipse is good into existing boards, but doesn't necessarily stop setup. So like they've now set up an entire field already, and I don't know. I just feel like they're gonna have too many interruptions, or there are too many opportunities and interruptions. Like even Vanquish, right? They've got Snow Devil. They'll have hand traps. They'll have extra cards in hand. The issue with Evenly is that they have to lose their battle phase. I like Evenly. Don't get me wrong, especially into the K9 VS matchup. Like if you Evenly them, they're in a really bad spot because they lose most of their board, but they still have opportunities to play. They keep their trap card. They still have cards in hand that they can play with, like Holly Sue and whatnot. So all you do is lose a battle phase to eat 3 or 4 interruptions, which very good. Do not let me take that away from you, especially if you're just trying to get like a Liger Dancer out. But also means that you lose your battle phase. And in this deck, the battle phase is a really good way to clear a whole bunch of monsters, and you also do want to try to kill if you can. So I like Evenly. I don't love Evenly. I think if we threw Thrust in here somehow, we could do Evenly. You know what? Maybe it's the Foolish Burial Goods package that I don't love. I think it's good, right? Like you Foolish dump a Perfume if you want to search, or you Foolish dump a Serenade Dance if you want to search, and that cooperates well with like Forbidden Droplet. I don't think you need both. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just that I don't think you need both the Foolish Burial Goods engine and droplets, and that could be F and V. Because like while this is engine, you know what? Let me try that. It's probably Panther Dancer. You don't play Cat Dancer, so the answer is probably just Panther Dancer. And then we just go Eldion, Dogma, and Ecclesia. Let's see if this affects your consistency at all. Yeah. I mean, it loses to an Ash Blossom. But who on earth is ashing Tenki? I guess if you start with Tenki, right, it can be pretty rough. Fractal, right? Activate effect. Just send the old card. And then activate effect. And then you've got the Perfume. If they try to imperm the Leo Dancer, you've got Fallen the Virtuous. I do like Fallen the Virtuous for that reason, right? I just think Fallen the Virtuous is good into this particular. It's like, oh, I imperm, right? Oh, okay, I'll send, I'll target, right? Maybe it is heavy poly in the main that I don't like. I love this card, but I just don't. This card is just so dead. Going first. Yeah, maybe it is heavy poly in the main. Maybe that's what I don't like. What does Twitch think? Twitch doesn't have any comments. What does YouTube think? Oh, Reese! Oh, perfect. Perfect timing, Reese. The main is pretty rough. Dark Room is better than Eclipse Goods. Is insane. Straight up missing Dempsey, and you should play Panther. Okay, so Panther. Dempsey. Why are we playing Dempsey? Someone want to explain to me, Dempsey? So yeah, I guess maybe it is heavy poly out of the side. Could also just be thrust. And then we do like a thrust target going first. What would a good thrust target going first be? Like Blackcoat. And then we'll throw back in the Burial Goods package. Going first, sighting in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you'd only need to take out 3 cards going first now, actually. Just take out 1 Fallen the Virtuous and the 3 droplets, probably. That could work. Oh, quick effect that will trigger Martin. I see. Well, in that case, wouldn't you want... Wait, would it trigger Martin? Oh, it is a... Yeah, you're right. But why Dempsey instead of Redoer? Like, Redoer is also a quick effect, and I feel like it has a little bit more potential than Dempsey does. Over Dempsey, at least. Yeah, I feel like Redoer is the answer over Dempsey, no? Has a little bit more utility. Actually, in some cases, actually a resource generator. Yeah, I mean, I would just say this over Dempsey. So then what, we just cut the F&V package? Oh, that just feels bad. And then Panther Dancer. God, I just really like F&V. Yeah, I guess Reader is easier to interact with, but like, so what, you know? Like, if you get to the point where you're making a Redoer and they still have... Because it's a quick effect, isn't it? Yeah, it's a quick effect. I think I would prefer Redoer. I think it just has a little bit more utility. You could play Dempsey in that spot. I think that's fair, right? But I think Redoer is just sort of the correct pick between the two just because of its utility. Okay, so if we're cutting the F&V package to make room for all of these extra deck cards, what are we putting? I guess Guardian Chimera goes back in. Just want the body for Cross Sheep. Oh, that's a good point. Oh, okay. All right. I guess you could turn a Dempsey into a SP. Okay. I'm seeing the vision a little bit more. I think I would probably still keep Redoer, just because I think that you'll get the bodies pretty easily. But yeah, no, Dempsey makes sense. No, I think Dempsey makes sense. Okay, so what are these last 3 spots? I guess it could just be the Black Goat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. We only need 3 cards coming. 1, 2, 3. Maybe it's just this. Maybe it is just this. What did I take out for the FNV? Took out. Took out these. Well, so then what did I take out to put cards back in? Oh my god. So the 2 thrusts are those 3 FNV, the 2 thrusts. Oh, the heavy polys. That's what it was. The heavy polys. And we threw the Black Goat in over the 3rd heavy poly. Heavy poly moved to the side. Thrust is in the main. I do like thrust to some degree, right? Because thrust set impulse is still very good. Same with Black Goat. I like Black Goat going first and second, right? And then other option could be we just move Ash to the main over like this. Because Ash doesn't conflict with Impulse. Stops Charmies as well, which is also pretty nice. Because Charmies might be one of the only ways that they dig for the cards to out your Liger Dancer. Also stops the trap cards like Chicken Tail Flame or Sting, which is nice. Yeah, but then the side deck comes back up. So then the question becomes, I have to play Ash, Chicken Tail. Okay, all right, well there you go, Ash, right? So then it becomes what goes into those last 3 side deck spots. So we have to take out 3 Fuas. 1, 2, 3. This could be 4, 5, 6. We can play more cards that interact with Thrust well. Oh. Mistaken Arrest could go in. There's your go first for Canine Vanquish Soul, Radiant Typhoon, just random ass combo decks and or turn 0 gameplay stuff. What else we got? What else we got? I guess do we need more going second cards? We got the Charmies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Got 8 cards for going second. I don't love Ogre for Azamina. I think that Impulse does that just fine. I think Ogre is like cute but clunky, especially because it also conflicts with Impulse. Called by. That card could be good. We could play that in here somewhere. Oh god, this deck's just so strange. Let's go with this. All right, Mike. Let's go with this. Give this a try. You hit Diabell and they don't get Demod. I guess that's true, right? You could also Bell the Gaze, though. Could be Bell over Ogre. Bell's got more matchup spread. Could be Bell. Maybe we cut like the Black Goat. I just don't know. 1, 2, 3. I mean, there's your 3 side deck cards getting for Fua. I guess if we swap Black Goat out for something else, for like going second, could be I don't know, some other card. I'm running out of time. Okay, I gotta move on. Something like this. Last card could be that Black Goat, could be some other card. Could try Ogre like Reese is saying. You'll have the Illa before Gaze. Not always. Not always. Sometimes they start with the Gaze play if they're not playing the Azamina cards. Okay. Oh, Bell's also good. Bell is also good into Yummy. It's good into the Draco Tail matchup for the trap cards, and it's like okay into Vanquish Soul. I guess you could Ogre the field spell. That'd be nice too. Ogre's not a horrible idea. All right, moving on. I'll do one more today. Yeah, let's. It's either Pure Branded or Magnet Warriors. And Pure Branded is just such a mess of a deck. It's impossible to get that one right. So I think I'm gonna go with the Magnet Warriors because I also think that this Pure Branded deck that I'm looking at is pretty like correct, so to speak. It already looks like fine. The only card in there that I don't really feel like super solid on is the Golden Sword Soul, but I don't hate it, and I see the synergy. So no, I mean I think I'll just pull it up quickly. This is the branded deck list. I think that this looks like fairly okay. I think the only card that I'm not like super in love with is the evenly matched. But Double Cyclone is good for that. Dropless is good for that. FMV is good for that. So, I mean, this card's fine. Main phase 3 stuff with this deck is crazy. Mistaken Arrest could also go in here if you're looking for like going first cards, because that's the one thing that the number one thing that I see here that's an issue is that you just don't have any going first cards, right? Like what are you siding in for Fualos, right? Imperm. Anyway, I would probably swap out one of the cards in here for like a Mistaken Arrest, and that would swap in for the Fuas or like Judgment and Dragon's Mind. What am I talking about? Dragon's Mind in this deck would go crazy too. Yeah, so like maybe 3 Mistaken Arrest and then Dragon's Mind Judgment, and Dragon's Mind Judgment go first into everything, and then Mistaken Arrest you can take out some of these cards, like if it's not good into that matchup or something, throw in the Mistaken Arrest. It's gonna be pretty good. That card will auto win you games against like Canine Vanquish Soul, Radiant Typhoon, things like that. White Forest. Yeah. So that's the speed run of that. I think the issue here is more with the side deck than the main or the extra deck. So I don't like the side deck. Mistaken Arrest would be good. And so would, you definitely need the Nib. Are you playing Titaniclad? You are, and you have a thing for it. You're good. Yep. So Mistaken Arrest and Dragon's Mind and Judgment would be my recommendation for the side deck over like Ember. Maybe even evenly. Like some of these things I just don't love, but they're fine. Evenly with the Double Cyclone. You could swap out the Double Cyclones as well for something else. I don't love Cosmic. I think Double Cyclone's probably as good as Cosmic. Maybe even better because it forces out a second trap card, by the way. So, all right, Matty Brad, you get the last Deck Doctor session of the day. Magnet Warrior. Oh, there's a whole ass. So many cards. Okay, I know one of these. It's only one of that, really? Huh. I guess that makes sense. None of the field spell, and no copies of Magnet Induction either. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. I am somewhat surprised by that, actually. I'm going to keep these aside for now. Because I do want to have a discussion about those cards. 1, you on 1 Epsilon. You are good. What else am I missing? Yeah, double circular is insane, by the way. Hello. Yep. It's Linear Magnum Plus minus. Is that what the? Oh, it's Telusion. Oh, I already put Telusion. We're good. All right. This isn't blind second, right, Maddie? I say this isn't blind second. you on 1 engraver or 2, 3? You're on 2. Okay, and then obviously double tracked. Yep. And we need Larry. Imperm. This is 40 cards. What am I missing? No, this is 42. I'm missing Duotarion. 42 cards. Interesting. Don't love it. We could definitely make some edits here. But I also know this deck worse than you do. So you might be able to explain some things to me. Sequence. Did I forget to put sequence in there when I was doing the Fiendsmith stuff? Why are there so many cards that have the word sequence in their name? Ah! Okay. IP. Then we need SP. I do like the Magnet Warrior archetype. What is that? Flux? Orchestrion? Ochtenfeld. What a name. Yeah, you need Wave High. You need Gallant Granite. Really? Draco Sack, huh? Okay. Alright, Exciton makes sense in this, and what am I saying? Underworld Goddess. Okay, Underworld Goddess also makes sense for the Liger Dancer matchup. I don't love Underworld Goddess just because I'm looking at like the way that Striker gets played now, right? Like the new way that they play Striker is you're also not on Nat Beast. You're not on the Nat Beast build, which I think is an interesting decision. Like the way that Striker plays now is they have been Eagle boostering Zero. Where is she? Zero. And this is a problem because you can't Underworld Goddess that. Right? You just can't. Because it has an effect that can't be linked. You can't link it off. So like you don't have a way to deal with Sky Striker. I guess your best way to deal with Sky Striker is Wave High King and pray that their starters are like Linkage and Hornedrones. They don't have like a Widow Anchor or something. That's kind of my issue here, right? Is that this deck is supposed to be nuts into spell card decks. Is it in the side? Did I miss that? Am I just blind? Oh, I just didn't get to the side deck yet. That's what's going on. Ret. Alright, well, before I complain and go, let me do the rest of the deck, because apparently I just completely blanked on the fact that there was a Nat Beast in the side deck. Egg on my face. Manchuria Beast. Yeah. Impulse would work. Not Impulse, Purge. Judgment. Ooh. Really? Iron Thunder. Okay, Matty Brad, I need you to explain to me Iron Thunder. Like why you are playing that in the side deck. Naturia Beast, why are you playing that in the side deck? Instead of in the main deck. Why are you citing your one copy? Well, I guess this makes sense, right? If you're citing the Nat Beast to side the Researcher. Wait. Yeah, because Researcher goes with Beta. Okay. So here's the list, everybody. I'm sure a lot of people don't really know much about Magnet Warrior. This is kind of a cool deck. This is definitely one of those decks that can do just a whole lot of random stuff. It just prints bodies just for funsies. Like Beta. Beta has an effect where you contribute it, summon another level 4 Magnet Warrior monster from your deck. So like you just normal summon this card, and then quick effect on their turn. Contribute someone. So like typically they're going to be ending with this card on their field, because this guy is a Book of Moon. So what you'll see is like they'll have this guy on their end board. This guy gets shuffled back, and then you can on their turn summon it off of beta. On their turn, tribute it to Book of Moon a card, which does come up. This also has pretty good graveyard effect for like actually being not a starter but an extender. This is basically just circular for the deck, except it sends 2 cards, which is dumb, which is stupid. Like, why didn't Konami learn from printing circular that we need to stop printing circular? What's up, Miro Kunako? Hello, hello. But yeah, they were just like, hey, what if we gave Magnet Warriors a double circular just for fun? What if we did that? Yeah, so this sends 2 Magnet Warrior monsters with the original level of 4 or lower from hand, deck, or field to the graveyard. Should not have done that. You just get to sack off cards for free. So like you'd sack off Omega Plus because it's got a graveyard effect. You can destroy a rock monster in hand or field and special summon it. And then this guy, if it's destroyed, you can add it to your hand, so you just don't lose the advantage that way, which is also nice for the magnet bonding effect to fuse. Oh, this is why it's 42. It's because I threw Magnet Induction and the field spell in there. So it is a 40 card deck. I just made it 42 on accident, I see. Yeah, you don't need this. Yeah, you don't need this. I think Magnet Induction is... I think this card's really good. Because I think that you need a search that isn't magnet bonding. Like, I get that magnet bonding has 3 effects, and all 3 of the effects are pretty okay. I just think that, you know, there's one of these cards searches. I know one of these searches a magnet spell or trap. Is it this one? Nope. This is the fusion summon. Is it this one? Two vanish magnet. Nope. Nope. No, this is the one that like changes the name. Is it bonding or what connection or 1 level 4 Magnet Warrior? Fusion summon. Nope. Is it the fusion? That 1 magnet normal spell. Yeah. So Conduction Warrior, Plasma, Magnum, right? Can search Magnet Induction, which I actually do really like this card. I think this card is definitely at least worth a look-see. Like I honestly I would cut the second tract for Induction. Like 2-tract. Honestly, I don't know why we're on 2-tract. If it's like a consistency thing, sure. But like, I mean, this deck's like kind of already pretty consistent. And if you were worried about consistency, you'd be on 3 Engraver more than you'd be on 2-tract. Because tract is just like super dead if you draw multiples, where like at least Engraver, you know, it's bodies. As it plays better into Droll, but like, I don't know. I feel like you're fine. This card's just kind of a like, this is sneakily a very, very good. Yeah, so like you summon the fusion monster. This card can get you really anything that you want, right? The reason why I like this so much because I played against Magnet Warriors at the regional this past weekend, and the fact that he played Magnet Induction actually is what won him the game, because he wasn't going to be able to keep playing at all if he searched like another magnet bonding. Like, he just wasn't going to do anything for him. But he searched Induction, and that actually got him to beta, and then beta is what let him keep extending. So I ended up losing because of that. Whereas if he didn't play Induction, his turn just sort of stops. Luis Kemi Logs. Hello, hello. I'm glad I'm your goat. How do I do the hand heart? Where's my camera? My camera's over there. There you go. Hand heart. Hello. Hi. Sorry I've been gone so long, everybody. I did miss streaming. Where was the whole time? Was there the whole time? And then I was exhausted after that. Went to Prodigy during that 4 in the morning thing. Oh my god. Oh yeah. That was on my birthday too. I was thinking about going to that because the regional was a couple hours south of that right after. But like Willie, Nikolai, A bunch of the guys and I went to this cowboy club in downtown West Palm instead. It was a lot of fun. It was actually a lot of fun. I had a good time. I recommend, if you guys are ever in West Palm Beach, Florida, go to the cowboy club. Was a banger. It was funny because Willie always has like these headphones on. Whenever we're like public spaces, he always brings headphones with him, and it was fun getting to see him take them off and sing along to the music that we were playing at this cowboy club. I loved that. Was a highlight of the night for me. Drinks were really good too. You know, I don't usually drink. Actually, I don't drink at all, but the whiskey sour there was pretty good. Okay. Thank you, thank you. All right. Yeah, so Magnet Induction, I think that this card deserves a spot over a second copy of Tract. I think that this card actually has a lot of utility. And even having, like, even just opening this card, this plus any other name, like, you know, let's say that you have to normal summon a name that you don't necessarily want to, that might not be a starter for you. Induction can kind of get the whole turn going as well. I don't love 6 Charmies in the main deck. Ooh. What would we play instead? I guess we could just play the nappy stuff in the main deck instead. Like, throw... Like, do this. I also just like... I just feel like Dracosack doesn't come up all that much. Like, you're making Dracosack with what? The Conduction Warrior and Fusion? Like, yikes, you know? In what world are you making Dracosack there instead of just SP Little Knight banish something? You know? Like, what's going on? I would need to be told a hypothetical situation where you're making Dracosack over SP Little Knight there. And I'm not quite sure that I can think of one, because you'd either have to be using 2 Conduction Warrior Linear Magnum plus minus, that is difficult to do on the same turn. I don't even know if that's possible to do on the same turn. Or one of those and Flux or Conduction Warrior. So Dracosack removes the Earthlock to use Fiendsmith. Yeah, but like, how often are you Earthlocking yourself before Fiendsmith? And again, why don't you just make IP? I feel like IP is just more correct in that spot, no? Like, you just link off the Conduction Warrior and the actually both of the Conduction Warriors and just make IP. That's the same thing, isn't it? I mean, or even just SP. That way you play around Nib better. I just don't know what makes Dracosack better than just making like an IP Masquerena in that spot. If there is a reason why we're summoning Dracosack to remove the Earthlock over just linking into IP Masquerena, I can get behind it. I can understand it. I can support it. But if we're just doing it to be cute. Thank you for coming, Vivizard. Looking forward to next time. Appreciate y'all being here. Okay, I have arrived home and submitted one more deck. Please review. Thank you. Oh, it's to clear the lock on turn 3. Standard in the deck. I don't remember. Try it or turn the project. I see. Use the tokens of that would they? That just feels clunky. But I guess that makes sense. Oh my god. I just don't know how much I like that. Like, that just feels strange. I definitely think Nappies should be like a main deck thing. Straight up. I think this is one of the best cards maybe ever printed. Like, there are so few matchups where this card's gonna do no work that I just don't see very many situations where, like, game 1 you're not making a Nap Beast if you can help it. Like this card's just ridiculous. This card's actually one of the most insane cards ever played. Helps break boards too sometimes. Yeah. There we go, sec. Should have Luna Light out. Is that why we're citing Nap Beast for Draco Sack? Oh. Oh my god. That just feels so bad. I would honestly rather you do that. Like, side the Underworld Goddess for... Because if you're playing against Luna Light, like, game 1, if you don't win the die roll, it's probably GG anyway. And you only really need this for the Luna Light matchup. Like, it doesn't do anything to the Striker matchup anymore, because they just Eagle Booster their 0. And actually, if you're playing the Nap Beast in the main extra, this is actually better, right? Because what they'll do is, what they're doing now is they're not like setting 4 ending on 0 and passing anymore. They're setting like 1 or 2 ending on 0 and passing, and then they just Eagle Booster 0 to make it unaffected. And you can't even Underworld Goddess over the 0, so you have to make a board. You have to do something into Sky Striker, and otherwise they're just going to kill you on the next turn. And I feel like the answer for you would just be to make a Nap Beast anyway, because all of the spell cards that they held, that they're holding on in their hand for the crackback, now are also still dead. So I actually do think that this is the correct way to handle this. Is we side the Underworld Goddess as our out to Luna Light, and then go from there. Is there any... There's no rock kaijus, right? No, that'd be a dream come true. No, there's no rock kaiju. That's okay. I think that it's something like this. I do like induction more than I like the second tract. You know, I understand why the 2 tract. I just think that it is an unnecessary piece. You know, your deck has so many ways to play, and between like it being as easy as it is for you to get 2 level 4s on board, and opening a copy of Engraver, or the fact that you oftentimes don't even need your normal summon because you can just use it on like Lacrima or something, I think that you don't need 2 copies of Tract. I think there is enough ways for you to get into Fiendsmith with ease that you can afford a card like Induction, which is not only good in the scenario where you search it off of the fusion spell. Like, it also just happens to be good in the instance where you also open any Magnet Warrior name. Like, you could literally normal summon Omega Plus and then activate Induction, and you're good. You're golden. So I like that Induction turns even the bricks into starters. And I think that for the cost of 1 Charmy in the main deck, you get Nat Beast. I think that this is the more correct way to handle it, right? Like, the Underworld Goddess is going to come up in way less scenarios than Nat Beast is. Nat Beast is almost always correct to make game 1 going first. And yeah, like, if game 1 going first into Luna Light, like, the Nat Beast is going to win you that matchup 9 times out of 10, right? Heavy Poly, Perfume, FNV, Thrust, Polymerization, Tiger, Wolf. And if you go second into Luna Light, I mean, between the 5 Charmies, the Nib, and the Fiendsmith cards, like, all you have to do is force out the Liger Dancer, and then you just make Desiree, or heck, even Engraver, you know, with the 3 links under it, big enough to swing over the Liger. So, like, you do have a way to deal with Liger Dancer that is not Underworld Goddess. And yeah, it's a little clunky. It's the Desiree getting big, but that's also going second. Like, that's only going to work going second, just like the Underworld Goddess is. So I think you'd rather have something going first to basically guarantee that they don't steal a win from you. Like, if you go first into Luna Light game 1 and you lose, they stole a win from you. Like, you need to be winning the game once. where you go first against them. If you go second against them, the deck is really easy to beat post side deck. That's one of the easiest decks in the game to beat post side deck, which is also why it's not, dominating formats. Is because it's so easy to beat post side deck. So I think that we need to be more prepared to not give up a free game to it going first than we do to like try and win the game that we are supposed to be losing against that matchup. That is sort of my position. Okay. I think this looks pretty good. Let's see how our consistency feels. Going second, not bad, right? We open Perulia, we open 2 bondings, so we get 2 uses out of it. Could even get 3 if we search another one. It's not totally awesome. Going first, we've got the Magna Bonding as a starter, so. Okay. Yeah. Don't mind if I do. Okay. Also, don't mind if I do. Like, pretty good. Okay. Man, circular is so stupid. Double circular is even more stupid. Oh my god. Darn it, do I want to play this deck? You opened the FTK. Oh. This man opened the FTK plus. Oh my god, because you get to normal summon Lacrima. Like, even if they have multiple hand traps, this is insane opener, right? Because if you go first and they have multiple hand traps, right? Like, let's say they ashed this, right? Just imagine I don't get the engraver. Let's say that they ashed the Requiem. Then I still have Nib Imperm, Bell, and Ash Blossom with no cards on field, so I can Imperm them from hand. They're not playing through that. And then I still have Lacrima Requiem in graveyard on their turn to summon and set up follow-up. Like, this is unbelievable. Yeah, there's no Magna Warrior stuff going on, but this is unbelievable how good that hand was. What the heck? And even if they don't have an Ash Blossom or something, great. I'll just play Fiendsmith. Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Darn it. This deck's consistent. What the heck? Keep drawing multiples of beta, though. I don't love. Yeah, okay. I think I like this list. I'd love to get to a point where I'm drawing the induction, because I want to see if I can brick on the induction. You know what I mean? But clearly I'm not bricking on it. Like, I've drawn what, 10 test hands right now, and I'm not bricking on it. So I think playing it at 1 is harmless. Yes. Because the tool that tells you the stats is fake. Real RNG is doing it the hard way. Yeah, this is all pretty good. Like, okay, I'm sold on this list. I think that this is, if I were to play the deck, this is how I would build it, personally. Okay, I got a movie to catch, so I'm gonna go see that new Ryan Gosling one where he has to turn the sun back on or something. Cool. Thank you all for joining me tonight. It has been delightful being back. I missed everybody. I'm going to try to get more consistent at streaming on Fridays, so just, I guess, keep an ear out.